said, I am the Dominican, so this 3 rounds of J is going to be a lot more different than how it is mostly. It will not be timed. There will not be 3 rounds as you saw as with the first round. We will just be talking topics. I did the fight recap. The first round, the second round, this round, whatever you want to call it right now, is just going to be a quick little discussion that I'm going to bring up about the ongoings of what's really going down with the UFC and mixed martial arts and the new era that's coming in 2019. For those of you unaware, the Fox event that took place on Saturday, December the 17th, not the 17th, on Saturday, December 15th, was its final Fox event ever. It was the 31st event that the UFC held on Fox. As of 2019, the UFC is officially moving to the ESPN network, if you did not know. And on the ESPN network, they will also be using the application ESPN Plus for subscribers, where several UFC events will be taking place on there. Basically, it's like going to be like a Fight Pass for those of you who have Fight Pass, but it will also be ESPN exclusive. So we're going to have our usual Fight Pass fights, our ESPN exclusive fights. In other words, it's going to get kind of expensive to be a mixed martial arts fan. Not only will you be paying for an ESPN product, not only will you be paying for the UFC Fight Pass, but now with One Championship signing a contract with Turner Television, you will also have to pay for the fight replays. You will also have to be paying for the Turner Television network, because the One Championship will no longer allow their application to live stream by fights or have fight replays as they do at this current time. The world is changing as we know it. The same thing with the media, same thing with the entertainment business, with each and every single company wanting to have their own application. It started with Netflix having their own, where multiple television shows, films, and original content right now are on this network and this platform. It then led to others such as Amazon, Hulu, the WWE network, even the UFC joined in. Now Disney's getting involved, Lucasfilms is getting involved, Marvel is getting involved. Marvel is part of Disney, sorry. These are all getting involved and opening up their own apps, their own networks, their own streams. So if it wasn't already expensive to pay for a cable package or a satellite package, or even any form of package to watch television, it is now getting even more exclusive. You know, with your Amazon Primes and your Netflixes, it's tough enough to start wanting to pay your $10 per month for each and every single one of these networks. I understand you get the full capacity of being able to watch almost anything you want at the tip of your fingers. But when you start adding all this up, if you're a mixed martial arts or a sports fan, you're looking at adding the UFC Fight Pass, you're looking at adding the ESPN Plus, you're looking at adding the Bellator, which they have to pay. And now Bellator is also on the Zone, which allows you to live stream some of their pay-per-view events, which is another $10 a month. And the Zone also offers the the NFL network on there. So you get all your NFL games on the Zone. Also, there are some MLB games I've understood, and boxing has also become exclusive, with HBO now no longer offering boxing. The final event that took place a few weeks ago, as you can see, what happened this past Saturday, Canelo Alvarez is now a Zone exclusive fighter, and his fight took place live and exclusively on the Zone. It was not on a HBO pay-per-view, it was not on Showtime pay-per-view, it was on none of these networks. Each and every single one of these companies have now decided to open up their own network, open up their own app, and to offer their own package at $10 per month. Now, for certain, you do get a lot when you're paying the $10 per month for Netflix. You get the originals, you get the movies, you get the TV shows, you get the stuff that you get to watch on TV at your fingertips at any time, at any moment, without having to worry about losing signal or satellite, as long as you have an internet provider or connection, which is fantastic. It's fantastic for everyone who loves the ability to be able to have the freedom to watch without commercials. But now when you're adding all this up, you got the WWE network, you got the UFC, you got the ESPN, you got the Zone, what other sports? You even got HBO's Plus, or whatever, HBO Go, sorry. I know they no longer going to be offering sports. You got the MLB network, you got the NHL network, the NBA network. You've got all these other apps that are asking you to pay monthly fees or yearly fees. It's becoming tough to really want to be a true sports fan. And the question that I'm offering, and the question that I'm trying to get, the point that I'm trying to get to is this going to suddenly become a problem now for mixed martial arts fans? Because you see, it used to be easy for us to just turn on Fox or the Spike TV network or the Paramount network that it is now, and to live stream and to watch our events on television, knowing that it's a part of our package. But now, what is the point of having a television channel or television provider if all the sports I want to watch are going to be live streamed online with these applications? For mixed martial arts fans, it's hard for you to ask us to spend $10 per month on the UFC Fight Pass network when you're not giving us title fights. You're giving us fights with journeymen in some cases, and in some cases at one point your main event, and this is not to take away from these fighters, like a Jim Miller versus an Anthony Pettis. You can't expect people to want to pay $10 per month to want to watch a fight like that. You can't expect people to want to pay $10 per month to want to get a fight where it's Tai Tuivasa versus taking on JDS. We want the big fights. ESPN on their first opening event that they will be holding will be a title fight. It will be TJ Dillashaw taking on Henry Cejudo for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World, which may also be the final time the flyweight title gets defended in the UFC. The division may be going away. Look, you guys had a problem with selling this fight on a pay-per-view to begin with. You moved it to ESPN, and now you're asking people to jump onto ESPN for a division that nobody watched on pay-per-view to begin with. I don't know if that's the way you go on opening up and debuting on the ESPN network, on ESPN Plus, or whatever, where it's taking place. I don't think that's the right way of going about it. For most fans like myself, this is truly a super fight. It's champion versus champion. It's two elite level fighters taking on one another. Had it been Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw, look, I would have been on board with this fight regardless, but still Henry Cejudo is an elite guy. He's a top fighter, he's a wrestler, he's turned himself into a great striker, and he's taken on TJ Dillashaw, who has, from the moment he won the belt to even his loss to Dominic Cruz, he's looked phenomenal in each and every single one of his fights. But for the non-hardcore fans, this is just a fight of two light guys that don't really present much finishes. TJ Dillashaw has indeed finished Cody Garbrandt, I believe, in his last two fights. He's finished quite a few others, but Henry Cejudo went to decision with the likes of Demetrius Johnson, Joseph Benavidez, Sergio Pettis. So he's been down the road of decision, so it's tough for the fight fans to tune in to watch something where they know it's probably going to decision and ain't going to be that big knockout. See, they crave that bloodlust. The casual fans want something like, oh, it's going to be a bloodbath. But this is not going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be an elite level grappling exchange between two elite level also strikers. This is basically a matchup of two all-around skilled fighters, the best of the best, and for most fans that's just not enough. So with ESPN Plus, the Zone, one championship probably losing their network and opening up with Turner Television networking, it offers the question of what's going to be enough, or what's going to get the fan to want to tune in. Why do you want to tune in? Why do you want to pay for this? Because right now, I don't see a reason as to not why the non-hardcore people are going to want to watch this. This is going to become expensive in an already expensive world. We already spend enough money on our Netflixes, Amazon Primes, and all of that. So now you're asking us to buy into this UFC, the MMA world, and all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to be hard to sell. I wish them well. I love mixed martial arts. I wish nothing but the best for Bellator, the UFC, the One Championship, the PFL, the Ryzen, who play at random times in the morning, and we'll be having an event on December 31st. I wish them all nothing but the best, but at the same time, I don't know how this is going to work, asking people to shell out more money. You got to give us something more. Like that guy needs to leave back there. You got to give us a reason as to why we want to watch this. You got to give us more than just a champion versus champion. You got to give us this hardcore bloodlust. If you're going out, if you want to open up things, you got to kick things off with something explosive. And to be honest, if you wanted to kick it off with a bang, you probably should have taken the route and put Alexander Gustafsson versus John Jones on the ESPN Plus. Now, for the hardcore fans, you're probably thinking, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You know the UFC is going to do that, and I know the UFC would never do that. But that's the way they should have done it. That's the route they should have taken. You wanted to get people on board off the bat. That's what you do. You give them a fight that people will be talking about. You give them a fight that people will want to see. Giving them champion versus champion is not going to get your casual fans. I've ranted enough on this topic. I could spend more time talking about it. I just feel it's going to be a lost opportunity if this is the route they're going to take. I think it's nice that they're giving us a title fight off the bat. Fantastic. But think of what they did with Fox. They gave you a heavyweight title fight. The fans love heavyweight title fights. And you should have given us, you know what, it would have been huge numbers. Brock Lesnar, Daniel Cormier, ESPN, or Daniel Cormier versus anybody who's ready for the heavyweight, or Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight championship of the world, a rematch. Something that Stipe probably deserves since he did defend that belt close to 3 times prior to losing it to DC. Why is it that everyone else gets an immediate rematch but not Stipe Miocic? Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, this was this week's 3 Rounds with Jay. Next week I will be back home with probably a brand new background. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get back to doing what we do best and to discuss more fights. It will also be a big week. Next week it will be UFC 233, I believe. John Jones, Gustafsson, Cyborg, Nunes. We will have that to discuss. On top of that, there will be other events taking place during that week, like the PFL finals and a Rising event, which will feature Floyd Mayweather. So we'll have quite a bit to talk about. But all of that said, the links are at the bottom to subscribe. The links also to my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages are at the bottom. Also, send me a shout out, send me a like, send me a fave, send me a subscribe, send anything, a comment, or even a question, just like that kid that made noise in the back of me and still making noise. Make some noise. That's how we get this attention, and that's how we get it moving. I thank you for taking the time to watch this. I'm gonna get back to this beautiful sunny skies, watching some fights. It's been a long week. It's been a great marriage. It has been fun. Thank you for taking your time. This was 3 Rounds with Jay. I'll see you next.